Out the Bayou is presented by Community Coffee. Beyond good coffee, there's community coffee. Louisiana, we are at war. If you are a farmer, hunter, landowner, or fish along our inland coast, pay attention. The next 15 minutes may change the way you look at the future of hunting and harvesting for your kids and grandkids. This enemy has adapted and overcome just about every boundary. Once mostly raised on farms, now feral or wild hogs roam freely just about everywhere in the country. However, the population is not diluted due to geography. And right here in the Bayou State, it has become epidemic. If you have not discovered wild hogs on your property, you soon will. Today on ODB, we will take you into their world, where they like to live, what they eat, the destruction they cause, and finally, the effort that needs to go into managing this invasive species. Trapping by guys like Jeff and Dune Chandler. Yes, it's the hard way, but they do it this way for a reason. They even get me into the game, and of course, I was the only person bleeding.
One sow can produce hundreds of offspring within a period of a very short time, just several years.
Get into the head and studies of Dr. Jim LaCour, Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries State Vet. The information he has gathered from years of studies will amaze and scare you. Calling all hunters and landowners. It's time to lock and load, or pork is the only thing we'll be hunting soon. For the past 15 years, I've made a living in the outdoors of the Bayou State, while producing national and local TV in Louisiana based on our world-class fishing and hunting. I have been lucky enough to meet the people who work and live, gathering, growing, and preparing all that makes our culture completely unique. This is their story, and it begins where it was born, straight out the Bayou. Stories with great taste. Lots of scary things coming down the pipe with these feral hogs, but I will tell you there's one big positive. They are very good to eat. On today's menu, Community Coffee Blackened Wild Boar Tenderloin. I've nicknamed this guy the King of Sauces. Chef Ryan Andre from La Creole will take the wild boar to a new level in dining. But first, up to Angola and the job at hand. In the hills outside of Angola near St. Francisville, the hog population is definitely on the rise. You see, hogs follow river systems and love to keep cool by way of swamp and mud.
Hogs all up in here, down by the pond.
This all began about a year ago when my friend Jeff Chandler invited me up to watch he and his brother Dune hand grab a couple of wild hogs out of a large pen trap they had constructed.
Looks like we got about 3 sows in there, maybe a little or 2.
The thinking, the bigger the traps, the larger the catches. And numbers mean everything when you are trying to manage hogs on your property. And these large traps work due to a few reasons. Open large traps will give hogs a sense of security. Hogs are very intelligent. Small single traps may educate other hogs.
Hogs are very, very intelligent animals, and if they see their comrades or offspring trapped, they will quite often never enter a trap again. They are very trainable and learn very easily.
Hogs are battering rams with shoulders. Make no mistake, they feel little pain and will use their athleticism to jump or just plow through a weak spot. And believe me, they will find it.
They are very agile, very strong animals. They're compactly built. They're very fast runners, and they will, in pen situations or in traps, if there's a corner in a trap, they will pile up in the corner and jump on each other's back and even leapfrog out of pens. So we prefer round-type traps for ones that are not enclosed on top.
And because they are intelligent, it tends to make the trappers less intelligent.
What's the point?
Well, we want to get that boar out of there. Get him tied up. I don't care if we got to choke him down. We'll just get him tied up out of the way. And then we'll work on the other 2 big ones. Then after that, since we got 2 little ones in there, we might put Scout in there after them. You can handle that, can't you?
Yeah.
You see, Jeff believes shooting hogs in your trap will tip off other hogs to impending danger. So instead, the other reason for poor decision making is that Jeff wants to take these pigs out alive and bring them to pens at his house. Why? Well, wild hogs are very lean due to the miles they travel feeding. So to make them taste better, he feeds them well for a few months to fatten them up. Fat makes flavor. Now back to crazy. Now, to take these guys out alive and place them in pens for future meal plans is perfectly legal. However, if you transport them and free them onto another property, well, that is very illegal. When we come back, I fall to temporary insanity. You knew I had to try it, right?
Let's see how I went at him. He didn't flinch much, dude.
Out the Bayou is brought to you by Community Coffee. Beyond good coffee, there's community coffee. Clothing and gear for Out the Bayou provided by the Backpacker. If you've got the guts, we've got the goods. And Ex Officio, the new go-to in outdoor wear. And Topwater Charters, corporate fishing done in style.
Ever since my great-grandfather started Community Coffee, we've been obsessed with going beyond. Beyond pride to passion. Beyond using 100% premium coffee beans to using only the top 10% in the world. Beyond commitment to a personal guarantee that every cup of community coffee is one that we proudly serve at our kitchen tables. Beyond good, there's great. And beyond good coffee, there's community coffee.
Why go fishing when you can go catching instead? Plaquemines Parish is your gateway to big fish and big fun, courtesy of America's best fishing guides and waters that are teeming with tuna, tarpon, marlin, snapper, speckled trout, bass, redfish, and more. Pros in the know call Plaquemines America's year-round fishing hotspot with marinas in Buras, Myrtle Grove, Point de la Hache, Empire, and Venice. Visit CatchFishLA.com to book your trip. Plaquemines Parish, it's catching.
The best fishermen know that Venice, Louisiana is the place where you catch fish, and Lighthouse Lodge and Villas is located just minutes from Venice's marinas. Stay at Lighthouse Lodge and enjoy our brand new Bahamas-style rooms with all the comforts like satellite TV, Wi-Fi, refrigerators, and microwaves. Or stay in our condo-style villas and choose to have your own kitchen and room for the family. Either way, our staff is here to make your stay in Venice a great one. Escape to sportsman's paradise at Lighthouse Lodge and Villas.
From Port Sulphur to Venice, fly fishing for reds in the shallows or targeting monster specks on the coast. Captain Shane Mayfield invites you to spend a relaxing day on the water. You catch your own fish, and as always, your satisfaction is guaranteed with Adventure South Guide Service. Give us a call. You deserve it.
Now you see them. Now you don't.
Here's the latest buzz at the Bugman.
Don't let ants ruin your family backyard time.
We take the sting out of home pest control. Call 923-BUGS.
Today on ODB, we are in St. Francisville, doing our part to control an out-of-control hog population. Trapping in large pen traps, the key is to feed these large pens for weeks, allow the hogs to get comfortable going in and out, and then slam the door.
They're not locked in one little spot, so they all feel comfortable. So they'll ease in, and then you get a whole herd of them.
Once in these traps, Jeff and Dune Chandler do it a bit different. Getting in with the hogs and taking them out alive by hand. Fun? Maybe. More about keeping your nerve and your fingers to me.
It's like a Rocky movie, chasing a chicken. So that's easy.
Now that's a good little easy.
This is all it is to it.
That's all. That's easy.
The hog population in Louisiana is exploding. These hogs are very reproductively efficient. They can have up to 13 or 14 piglets per litter. They average 6 to 8 per litter. They have 2 litters per year.
Feral hogs, by definition, are simply hogs that are not contained and free roaming. They have no natural enemies besides man. And they don't fear us one bit.
I don't need anything touching me right now. I don't know if anybody's told you, but this is not the safest way to catch big.
Definitely not. But if you can get a hand on them or even a snare, you can control them. As long as you got a hold to the head or something, you can kind of control where they go.
As a person who's never been in a hog pen before, I'm gonna tell you, my nerves were a little shaky. These things are strong. Oh, well, that happened quick. This is not a very safe feeling.
Hog-tied and ready for transport. Nothing to it. Except somebody forgot to tell Houdini here it was over.
Now life gets tougher. JC is messing with us.
Never a dull moment with a Chandler around. Hogs loaded, watered, and ready for the ride home. A successful day. No one went to the hospital.
Deer hunters alone harvested over 100,000 hogs in this state. That's not including farmers shooting them, that's not including hog doggers, that's not including any other incidental take. That's licensed deer hunters that were surveyed. So to have a population that you can harvest 100,000 or more out of and not have any visible reduction in the damage on the landscape, it's just a phenomenal biological problem for the state.
This is the problem right here. Exactly. You plant a field, you plant a 3-acre, 4-acre plot of beans, soybeans, and overnight they'll come through there and do that through the whole place, and then you won't have nothing left. Not the first soybean, nothing left.
It's been shown not only in our state but all throughout the southeast that as pig populations increase, the deer populations decrease.
You have to double layer this hog wire because, as JC said, these hogs are big. They're like mini tanks. They will run and they will hit a fence as hard as they can. They will keep doing it because for some reason they're not like you and I. They don't feel a lot of pain.
As far as control of the population, you have to use every tool in the toolbox. We advocate trapping. We advocate day and night shooting opportunistically and purposefully.
So they will hit these fences time and time again until they either uproot them or either they'll bend them over enough to where they'll launch themselves and actually go over.
The big sows, that's the reproductive machine, and those need to be the first target. Boar second.
This tree has been rubbed just by them rubbing mud off of it. You look it up here. This is fresh tree. This is tree that a pig's been rubbing on just all the way around it.
Improper trapping may do more to hurt a situation than to help it. If you use a very small trap with a very small door and you attend it quite often to bait it or what have you, you may actually educate the pigs into not going into traps anymore.
Just like that.
Good gracious.
Coming up, playtime is over.
It'll mess you up. It's danger, danger, danger.
It's 3 months later and 102 degrees when I get the call. 2 big boars and we need to get them out in a hurry and over to Hunters for the Hungry. They need food. Me, well, I'll just need stitches.
I'm gonna try to.
Ever since my great-grandfather started Community Coffee, we've been obsessed with going beyond. Beyond pride to passion. Beyond using 100% premium coffee beans to using only the top 10% in the world. Beyond commitment to a personal guarantee that every cup of community coffee is one that we proudly serve at our kitchen tables. Beyond good, there's great. And beyond good coffee, there's community coffee.
There's nothing like coming home with an ice chest of your day's catch after an exciting day of fishing with a Louisiana charter boat captain. Except maybe topping off your day by picking up some fresh Louisiana seafood. Louisiana seafood is often available right off the docks throughout South Louisiana or at local retailers. Just go online at louisianaseafood.com. And for fishing experience like no other, contact one of our licensed charter boat captains at louisianasaltwater.com. Fishing and seafood, man, it just doesn't get any better than that. Wow! Topwater Charters is your full-service corporate fishing guide service. Located in Cocodrie, Louisiana, we are just minutes from some of the finest saltwater fishing. Our new waterfront lodge sleeps 20, and you'll be treated to mouth-watering Cajun meals. You'll fish with the finest guides in Cocodrie on new 24-foot center console bay boat. All you need to do is show up with an ice chest and let us do the rest. Call us today at 985-855-0707 and see for yourself why we are Louisiana's #1 corporate fishing destination.
I'm just going to say that this was not the best thing
It's not the
that
best
I've come
idea.
up with so far for show material.
I thought that was funny at the time.
He don't look scared. I'm going to tell you, my nerves were a little shaky. If he comes at us, just get out the way?
Let me tell you what, you don't think you could grab a hold to him?
Kick him in the head?
Kick him in the head, put your foot up, he'll turn.
Yeah, whatever. Getting in a pen with a 100 plus pound hog coming at you with teeth that big, knowing that what you've seen on TV that these things do to dogs and have done to people.
If you want to get a snare on
Dude,
him,
I don't even like the way that looked.
he'll kick that leg up.
Oh, I know he's gonna kick it up. He's gonna kick it up at his face. It's gonna be right in mine. Yeah, again.
You're alone again.
I have a feeling I'm being set up.
He's pretty stout.
See how I went at him? He didn't flinch much, dude. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have something in my hand just in case.
That'll work.
I have a feeling that he and me. Maybe if I don't run.
If we didn't get him on the next run by, we were going to have to take him out.
Oh,
When a pig knocks you down through a fence, you begin to wonder why you are still in the fence. At this point, if I don't get his back legs out from under him quick, he could possibly break the snare. Mad would not describe what I would be facing then.
there's no way to hold that much animal.
Now he's good. Ready?
Yep. We're not in control of the business end of this thing yet, but there is. That's what I'm saying. There's no.
In TV time, this took 2 minutes. In real time, nearly 2 hours. Exhausted, overheated, but done. Tied legs, let's go.
Dang it, he's getting the business end off too.
In a blink, trouble. Mad trouble.
Well, I tell you what we can
Never let your guard down with these guys.
That's how quick it can happen right there, and I'm bleeding. And I didn't want to bleed today.
They will fool you every time.
It's amazing how smart these animals are. It's the reason why they're so prolific in breeding. It's the reason why they don't have any predators, is because their eyes are not that great, but their nose and their sense of survival is unbelievable. They're a never give up animal. Every pig we get is going to a program to feed the hungry. And this is why we're out here today and we're catching these pigs alive, because it's so hot that if we don't take these pigs out when they get in here, if we just shoot them and leave them, it destroys the pen. But if we don't take them out and we don't get them to the butcher, then this meat's gonna go bad in 103-degree temperature. And so it's all a conservation effort, but at the same time, we're really doing this just to help out the community a little bit. I mean, that pig will feed how many people, JC?
Whew.
Hundreds.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Well, we got a back leg tied.
We got front legs tied.
Oh,
We got a mouth tied.
Well, we ought to be pretty good.
Whatever. I don't trust it.
One down, one to go.
Oh, hell.
Well, maybe.
Ever since my great-grandfather started Community Coffee, we've been obsessed with going beyond. Beyond pride to passion. Beyond using 100% premium coffee beans to using only the top 10% in the world. Beyond commitment to a personal guarantee that every cup of community coffee is one that we proudly serve at our kitchen tables. Beyond good, there's great. And beyond good coffee, there's community coffee.
Professional anglers worldwide consider Plaquemines Parish the premier fishing destination in North America. The mighty Mississippi River provides the source for the greatest habitats for fresh and saltwater fishing imaginable. 10 marinas, abundant lodging, great local restaurants, along with friendly people guarantee you the fishing trip of a lifetime. You can fish anywhere, but you catch fish in Plaquemines Parish. Visit our website at www.plaqueminestourism.com for all of the details. Plaquemines Parish, it's catching.
That's a black bear. That ain't a hog.
He looks awful big, don't he?
There's big, and then there's that.
He looks kind of mean, don't he?
After the last hog, I evaluate very quickly.
You always catch the sows and the little ones. And yeah, he does make you move, don't he?
I might need to clean my drawers.
We, meaning mostly me, decided to do the outside of the trap thing and keep most of me intact. For an hour we ran this guy front to back, and when we thought he was tired, I like to have lost an arm. As luck would have it, I kept my hand and made a lucky throw. Then I took my punishment.
I don't want to pull him over the daggone fence, man. That's the thing.
Just keep that tension on.
If we could get another snare on him,
Yeah.
that'd be good. Where's your other
You
one?
got it, I got it right there.
Where? Okay.
Jeez. That'll feed a few people.
Got to get aggressive on these guys, or else we're gonna lose our deer, our turkeys, anything that beds on the ground.
They'll eat turkey eggs if they find them, quail eggs, any ground nesting bird. Really anything that walks, crawls, stays still, or any sort of plant material that's palatable to them, they will eat. And they will alter their food source to what's available during the year.
Wildlife and Fisheries is working on a lot of things to help us manage these hogs. And you know, kudos to them for taking lead. And we're waiting to follow. I mean, there's enough hunters out here to where if we really get aggressive on them,
That's
that we
right.
can put a little dent in the population. You don't think that'd cut through you like butter? I mean, this is, look, that's one of those rubber.
Yeah.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, will ruin your day.
It's time to get out of the heat and get this guy into the hands of a professional.
You know, one of the keys to eating wild game is to, you know, take a little bit of that wild flavor out of the meat. And when you get those big hogs and those big deer, you know, some of that blood stays in the meat for a long time, and that's what gives it that wild taste. So what I do is I put it in a cooler or a refrigerator outside, put some ice in it, and then that tends to draw some of that blood out of the meat. The whiter the meat, the less gamier it tastes. And Igloo's now come out with a great new cooler called the Yukon. It's one of those tough, almost purely indestructible coolers. It holds ice for 7 to 10 days. And that's what we did. We let this thing sit. We're about day 3. So we're gonna wrap this puppy up and bring it into Chef Andre and see what you know, a professional chef's take is on cooking wild pork.
Yeah, at La Creole we are a seafood, predominantly a seafood restaurant. I do like to outsource local ducks, local pork, local beef whenever I can get my hands on it. So what you want to do here is you want to take this tenderloin, and you see all this silver skin. This is what we call it in the restaurant, the silver skin, which is the gristle, as you would call it at home. So you want to make sure you clean that up. I have a nice seasoning right here with a community coffee grounds, ground oregano, ground thyme, a little bit of sugar to add a sweetness to it, so to cut some of the bitter out of the coffee, and a little bit of salt. It almost acts as a blackening seasoning with coffee in it. All right, next up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our ingredients prepped for our creamy goat cheese brie grits right here. We have some nice Papa Tom stone ground grits that's ground right here in Baton Rouge. We're gonna have a little bit of garlic, red onions, some grape tomatoes, milk, and we got, of course, our nice room temp brie cheese right here. I like to cut the garlic real thin like that because it gets a nice toasty color on it. And next up, we're going to slice these red onions just as thin as that so they cook on an even time scale. And that's it, just a few ingredients. And now we're going to move over to the stove over there and we're going to get a nice sear on our pork. Your grits take the longest, so you want to get that started first. We're going to start off with about 2 tablespoons of butter. You want to go ahead and put in your onions you cut. We're going to let those cook till they translucent. We're going to go ahead and put in our garlic. If you would have put that garlic in too early, it would have turned real black and then turn this grits real bitter. All right, we're going to just bring this to a simmer. You don't want it boiling because that milk will actually scorch in the bottom of that pot, so you need to stir it often. You want to use 9 cups of milk to 1 quart of grits, and that's the stone ground grits. Take these grits, but you want to whisk at the same time so you don't have any clumps in your grits. What you want to do is you want to make sure you stir these often. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little canola oil in the bottom. All right, so whenever you put this seasoned pork loin in here, it should make a nice sizzle in this skillet. Woo! The skillet is nice and hot like this. You just want to do it about 2 to 3 minutes on each side just to get it a nice little hard sear because we're going to finish it in our 450-degree oven. It's looking nice. That espresso is just giving it almost like I said earlier, a blackening, our Louisiana blackening crust on the outside of that. We're going to let that hog cook for about 10 more minutes. Again, we got some more sliced red onions. In this recipe, we're going to use a little bit of minced garlic. We're going to let that cook till it gets nice and toasty. We're going to go ahead and put in some sliced mushrooms. About 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. We're just going to let that kind of brown and stick to the bottom of the skillet. About 1/2 cup of brandy from here. Now you want the key to being over gas like this, you want to back up off the skillet, off the fire. Too hot for TV. Pork stock, or you could at home you can use pork base if you prefer. Stir the grits. And again, the coffee I use in this recipe also is the same I do on the pork. It's going to add a slight bitterness to this, so it's not just overpowering with pork and mushroom. It's going to have a slight bitterness to cut through. Well, our grits right here are going to be nice and creamy, so this is going to complement those grits perfectly. We're going to put this rosemary sprig in there to steep. We're going to put one pinch of salt in here and about 1 tablespoon of sugar. So just 1 little small pinch of sugar because corn is supposed to be sweet. Oh, that's beautiful. What we're going to do then is we're going to put this sauce down here in the bottom of the plate. We'll put a little spoon of the grits right in the center. Our nice fresh pea tendrils right in the center of that. It's cooked nice. It's got all nice and juicy. We'll put that right in the center of the plate. Take one of these nice mushrooms and a little bit of sauce. Go right on top of that. Nice locally grown red Russian kale microgreens. We'll go right on top of that pork.
Coming up in the next couple of weeks, what makes a 40-year-old regress to a teenager? Long-legged delicacies of the bayou. Be sure to like us on Facebook for tons of great contests and more stories with great taste.